அருட்பெருஞ்சோதி அருட்பெருஞ்சோதி தானி பெரும் கருணை அருட்பெருஞ்சோதி 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 தானி பெரும் கருணை அருட்பெருஞ்சோதி 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 தானி பெரும் கருணை அருட்பெருஞ்சோதி.
I am very happy to talk to you on the principles of Sanmargam. Vadalar introduced this concept and established a Sanmarga Sangam in the year 1865 to propagate certain ideals throughout the world for the betterment of the human community. What is this Sanmargam? San is a word from Sanskrit and it has come to the Tamil language for use. San means Satyam. Satyam means truth. Margam means the way of life. Sanmargam means the truthful way of life. Vadalar thought people must be brought from the falsehood to the truthful way of life. People are accustomed with certain habits, customs, norms, with their own tradition. And there are a number of illusions. People may not know what is the perfect life, what is the truth of life. So Vadalar thought there must be a movement to reach the people, to educate them and bring them from the falsehood to truthful way of life. So Sanmargam means from falsehood to truthful way of life. And then what are the principles of this Sanmargam according to Vadalar? He says, a Sanmargi must know how to keep up his body without diseases. And for that he has given in his verses a formula that Sahada Kalviye Kalvi Ondre Sivam Dana Arinda Arive Tagamaribu Malamaindu Ventra Vallabame Tanita Purana Vallabam Vegadi Kaladi Kantagundu Yapurdum Viளைவை விளைவித்த தொழிலை மெய்த்தொழிலதாகும். நான்கையும் வியந்து அடைந்து உலகம் எல்லாம் ஆகாதலுற எல்லாம் வல்ல சித்தாய் நிறைவான இன்பமே சுத்த சன்மார்க்கத்தின் மரபென்று உரைத்து விடுவேன். Vadalar says, these are not my words. This is what I heard from the Lord Almighty. He educated me on Sanmargam. I am sharing my ideas with you on Sanmargam. So therefore, God himself, he says, Vadalar says, Naan urakkum vaarthayellam nayagandan vaarthai nambumino namadan. But I say, they are not my words, they are words of the Almighty, Arupperunjodi. He educated me, I am only transmitting my ideas, my words to you for the betterment of the humanity all over the world. So, what is this Saha Kalai? Sagata Kalviye Kalvi. Most of the people died. Vallalar did not die. Vallalar disappeared. He integrated his body into light atoms and joined one with God the Almighty. Why? He has taken the decision to disintegrate his body into light atoms. He said, Arutparim Jyoti Andavar, the Lord Almighty Arutparim Jyoti, is in the form of light. That's why I am telling Arutparim Jyoti. It is only the supreme light which created the universe and which created everything in the universe. All stars were created, planets were created, the earth was created, the living beings were created, all were created. Only from the light only. Light is the source of creation. Light only created all the 5 elements of nature. So, he said, Arutparim Jyoti. It is only the Arudiya Parim Jyoti. The Arutparim Jyoti created everything and it protects everything. And it is going to protect everything. Therefore, he said, Arutparim Jyoti, Arutparim Jyoti. Taniparam Karunai, Arutparim Jyoti. The Lord is always with his benevolence. He is protect the people with his bliss and benevolence. So, he says all our education, today our education is oriented to job seeking, is oriented to day-to-day living. These are all essential, but man must know what is the ultimate goal of education. What is the end of education? What is the end of his life? How he must lead his life? How he must maintain his body, mind and spirit. So, according to Vallalar, one must educate himself to live without diseases, without death. What is this death? The body cells die, they decay. When the body cells decay, the muscles shrink, the bones lose their weight, its strength, their nerves become loose, and the resistance is lost. When the resistance in the body is lost, the diseases will attack the man and he will die. So Vallalar says, the main purpose of education must be to protect our body without diseases and without decay of cells. How to do this? He says what we must know, the sources of diseases. The sources of diseases, he says mainly the diseases are born and attack us from the non-vegetarian food, from the animal food. When the animals die and human beings eat them, the virus which exists in the animal is transmitted to the human body. The human body gets into diseases and it will suffer. So if we can avoid non-vegetarian food, then we can avoid many of the diseases. Second thing he says, we should avoid any type of food that is decaying in nature. Our body gets the quality of the food. If the food is non-decayable, our body also will become non-decayable and diseaseless. If the food that we eat are decaying in nature, our body also will get to the same nature. Body also will decay. So therefore, we must be careful in choosing the food so that we can avoid the diseases. The second thing he says, while choosing the foodstuff, we must know what are the herbal items available around us which can cure the diseases, which can prevent the diseases. He has listed 485 herbal items which can prevent and cure the diseases. And he has stated how these items can be used and how these items can be processed and how much must be taken and what are the diseases each item will cure. He has given a long list and explanations in his prose forms. So, the third thing, he says, the prana sakti. The oxygen content in the body must be maintained. When the oxygen content becomes less, then the cells will die because of the inadequacy of oxygen. So the oxygen must be at the optimum level all the time. We should not allow the oxygen level to go down so that we can resist against the diseases. The body can be kept in condition. And then he says all the hormones in the body must be kept in order through proper exercises. If the hormones secrete properly at the optimum level, most of the diseases can be controlled and we may not suffer from diseases. Therefore, people must educate themselves about their body, about the organs of body, about their functions, and how and when the functions will increase or decrease. If the functions increase, what will happen? If the functions decrease, what will happen? And how to rectify the deficiency or the excess function which cause diseases. So main education must be for everyone. We must know how to maintain our body without disease so that we can avoid the decay of our body, the death. We can have a long life. And then he says, the body most of us are living is not the end. Death is not the end. Or if you maintain your body, that alone is not the end. He says there are 3 other levels to which this body must be taken. What are those 3 levels? He says, we as normal people take external food, the cereals and pulses, the vegetables, the fat materials like oil and vitamins, minerals and vitamins. So we do not know how much each item must be taken. Most of us, we are ignorant of these items. Because of that, we get into disease. So we must also know about our food, about our diet, so that we can avoid the diseases. Then the next stage of this body is Sutta Deham. He says the pure body. What is the Sutta Deham? When you cultivate with good habits. Why people die? People die because of the wrong practices. Vallalar says, Tappale Sakattavar Save Tunindar. Our Tham Ulam Nananan Sadalai Tavirte Yapalum Yakalum Irutale Petrain. People die because of the wrong practices, wrong habits. They must know what is the right practice. That is Sutta Sanmargam. They must know what is wrong with their practice so that they can avoid. And if all wrong practices are avoided and all the glands are activated and there are optimum level of hormones in the body will automatically get into the next stage of pure body. What is this pure body? This pure body will not take external food. It will take the hormones and live. How do the glands secrete hormone without food? He says, the pituitary gland in the cerebellum in the brain region will draw the power from the sunlight and from the solar energy. The pituitary is secreted. It has 1,000 times more value than the ordinary food we take externally. So the glands, if they secrete properly, the hormones can give us 1,000 times more energy and strength. It can make this body to live without external food. It can live with internal food, the hormones. If such a condition is attained, he says, there will be no day and light. There is no difference for a Sanmargi between day and light. For all the 24 hours, he will work. He will lead his life. He will have experience of his life. Therefore, for a pure body, there is no day and light. There is no ordinary feelings of an ordinary man. Ordinary man is very much oriented in excessive sex. Sex is an instinct given by God. But everybody must know how much sex he must enjoy and what is the excess and how the excess feeling, the excessive sex feeling will decay his body, spoil his body. It is because of the excessive sex the body is ruined. And the diseases also will attack him. So, the man must be disciplined. The next stage is, after the Sutta Deham, the body will reach automatically to the next level, the Pranavadeham. What is this Pranavadeham? Pranavadeham, we cannot see. Man can exist, but we cannot see his physical body. We can see only the sound. We call it Asariri. Sariri, Asariri. We are all Sariris. We have with our Sariram. Asariri means a man lives without his physical body, but in the form of sound. So, everyone may have some experience of this Asariri. I have my experience. Sometimes we hear only the sound, but we cannot see the body. I have this experience. Many people have told me that they have some Asariri. And they are able to hear, but they are not able to see the body. The third type of body is the intellectual body, Jnana Deham. It is in the form of Jnana Uli, the supreme light. The man lives in the form of light, and he can, the light can percolate in any place in the body. It will percolate, influence the mind, and all our solutions to our problems will be indicated by the Lord through our wisdom. So it's intellectual body. Vadalar said in the year 1874, he wanted to disintegrate his body into light atoms and join the Lord. Many people asked him, how can we meet you? How can we ask you? How can we solve our problems? He said, I can speak to you through your intelligence, through the wisdom. I will be in my Jnana Deham. So Jnana Deham means I will influence your wisdom and tell you the solution to all your problems. So you need not come in search of me. When you think of me, I will come to you and give you the solution through your mind. So this is the Jnana Deham. So learning all these stages, the ultimate end is the man will disintegrate his body into light and he will join one with the Lord, because the Lord Arupperum Jyoti Andava, he is in the form of light. So Vadalar says, Petreen Endrum Yaravamai Pedam Davirte Iravan ene Utre Kalandan Nan avane Utre Kalandin Undran. He is in the form of light. I converted myself in the form of light. We both became one. I am not a separate person, I am one with the God. So I will take up all the functions of God. Srishti Titi Samharam Tirobhavam Anugraham. Srishti Titi Samharam Tirobhavam Anugraham. These are all the functions of God. God will create. God will enlighten the human beings, and all the living beings will enlighten. And thus the living beings attain maturity. When the enlightenment comes, we will be able to remove all impurities, the mayas. So, when the mayas are removed, then we can realize the expression, the presence of God, how He influences. And He will, through His bliss, he will take us with him as one. So every Jivatma will join the Paramatma. As long as the soul lives in the body, an individual, it is Jivatma. When it is the universal organic whole, it is pervading everywhere throughout the world, throughout the universe, throughout the earth, in all living beings. It is omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient. Therefore, the Jivatma will join the Paramatma. And when it goes out of the body, only the body dies, the soul will not die. The soul will continue. The soul will exist forever till the individual gets maturity and rejoins the Lord. Therefore, the second thing he says, Onre Sivam Dan and Arinda Arive Tahum Arivu. What is the standard knowledge? The standard knowledge is Onre Sivam. There is only one organic whole for the entire universe. All that images that we worship, they are all created before based on some philosophical interpretations. For long life we have a God, we have a Devam, deity. For energy, we have an image. For education, we have a deity, we have an image, we worship. For wealth, we have Lakshmi, Mahalakshmi, to give us wealth. These are all the imaginations of men to explain the philosophical interpretations, the philosophical concepts to the people. These images were created. It is something like the teacher to explain the sun. He is not taking the sun, the students to the out of the classroom and to show the sun. He will just draw the image of the sun on the blackboard and tell the students that this is the sun, this is how the rays spread. And for the day, to show the planet, the universe, all that are shown only on the blackboard. Something like that. The great saints, they are helped by their imagination to explain their philosophical concepts, created all these images. It is about more than 2000 years these worship of images exist. But Vallalar found a new way. How can there be so many gods? He said, there must be some origin for all this. What is that origin? He found that a supreme light, Aruppuram Jyoti, is the origin, and from which all life beings came. And to explain the creations only, the saints in thousands of years created these images, created rituals to inculcate into the minds of the people. Why do we have long ceremonies, temple festivals, all to attract the people towards God? But Vallalar says this is not the end. This is only to make you understand. But the real education must make you to understand what is the real truth of God. It is only the Aruppuram Jyoti, the supreme universal light, is the God from which everything emanated. So there is only one God, that is the light, supreme light, universal light, and which created everything, that is our God. Let us not go in search of God and have so many images. Then he says, Malam Aindum Vendra Vallabhame Tanitha Purana Vallabham. If the man must realize God, what he must do? He must remove all impurities in him. Malam means, in our body we say malam means the solid waste and the liquid, the urine. That is ejected out from the body because they are not needed for the body after the food gets digested. So anything unwanted is the malam. And he says, Malam Aindum Vendra Vallabhame Tanitha Purana Vallabham. What are these 5 impurities, unwanted things in the mind? Anavam, Kanmam, Mayai, Mamahai, Ahankaram. Anavam, for a very long time, you know, in the theory of evolution, man has many qualities from the animals. Animals live on their physical strength, not on the mental strength. They live on the physical strength. Man also lived on the physical strength, fighting with each other, killing enemies. That is what our kings and emperors did. To expand the boundaries, they killed thousands of people in the name of bravery. They thought one is brave when he is able to defeat his enemies and kills his enemies. So thousands and thousands of people were killed in the battle. So, Anavam, it is not the physical strength that will take you to 3 types of bodies, that will take you to the Lord. Anavam must be removed from the mind so that you will realize the truth of God. Kanmam, what we do good and bad. These good and bad will be recorded in the genes, will be transmitted to the next birth. It is a continuum. It is a cumulative effort that our good actions, good thinking, and bad thinking and bad actions will be taken to next birth. And what we sow, we will reap. If we sow bad things in the mind, it will come along with us birth after birth. If we sow good things in our mind, it will also come birth after birth. So therefore, we should not think that whatever we do, it will end in this birth only. No. It will come with us. In all our births, it's a continuum. It will have a cumulative effect. And we will have to reap the result. If we sow good things, and we will reap good things. If we sow bad things, we will reap only bad consequences in the next birth and in the coming consecutive births. So man, Vadalar says, Indai Pirapittane Nitya Maivaru Bittidalam Perinbam Uttidalam Virainde. This birth is not an ordinary birth. This birth is so precious for us. We should take care of this birth. Do all good. Remove all bad things. So you will become pure. If not in this birth, at least in the subsequent birth. You will become pure. And when you become pure, you will go nearer to God, nearer to the Almighty. Your qualities will be divine. With all divine qualities only, the God will accept you. The teacher will always love the students who get 10% marks in the subject. If a student gets only very low marks, he cannot get the appreciation of the teacher. So Lord wants us, every jivan, every soul to attain maturity and join Him, rejoin Him. From where we came, we will rejoin. We came from the Paramatma. Our soul came from the universal soul, and it will rejoin the universal soul. Till then we will take birth. Maybe even millions of births we may have to take. Because living beings on earth exist the last 3,500 million years. And after all that, still man has not learned what is his life. He has all impurities in his mind. So Vadalar says, from the life experience we must be able to remove all your impurities. So therefore, Anavam, Kanmam, Mayai Mayai means falsehood, illusions. People believe in illusions, superstitions, all that unwanted things for life. Maya means falsehood. Excessive sex, man running after woman, and showing his excessive feeling. Vadalar says, there must be a sex discipline. He says, Sutta Parisam and Asutta Parisam. Man must have only Sutta Parisam. What is Sutta Parisam? When you touch something, it should be pure and godly. It should be divine. It should be within the control and within the social moral code, within the legal code, so that everybody will appreciate you. Otherwise, if you go beyond the moral code or the legal code, even if it is the instinct of sex, you will be only creating the problem for you, for your family and the other family. And because of this sex, excessive sex expression, we see conflicts, we see murders, we see peaceless society. Therefore, all moral codes have been framed to establish peace in this society. And excessive anger is another impurity man must remove from his mind. Anger also is an instinct, but excessive anger, he should not create enmity. The whole life will be spoiled if a man creates enmity. So, anger and enmity is an impurity in the mind, which is to be removed. And the third one, lobam, miserliness. Man, by being a miser, he will lose his entire life. He will not be able to lead the life. He will not be able to enjoy the life. He must meet out his requirement. He must know what is his minimum requirement for his life and for the enjoyment of life. If he goes with less than minimum, then he cannot enjoy the life. Therefore, man should know how much enjoyment, how much material he must use, what are his requirements, and only that much he must use. And his excess capacity, one may have a lot of capacity, excess capacity. It can be used for others' benefit, for the humanity, for the welfare of the humanity. So, the next one is the ego of man. The ego, he wants to dominate others, over others. He will not give freedom to others, and he will try to suppress others and enjoy overpower. This is another impurity, Vadalar says. He must remove his ego and establish peace in mind. Then greediness. Man goes beyond his requirement, accumulates lot of wealth, keeps without use. It is a sin. So one must not be a greedy. One can earn any amount of wealth, but it should be used. The excess must be used for the humanity, for people around him. That's why he said, Jiva Karunyam. You are not concerned with yourself alone, or your family alone, or your community alone. You are much concerned with the people who are disabled people, handicapped people, such people who cannot work and earn and maintain their living. You must help. They are all creations of God. Because of their bad luck, and they are disabled people. That's how he established the Dharmashala in Vadalur, Satya Dharmachalai. The Satya Dharmachalai must not only to be in Vadalur to function, but in his view, there must be a Satya Dharmachalai in every village to help the disabled people, to help the blind people, to help the people who cannot work and earn, cannot maintain themselves, who cannot support themselves, or nobody else to support. Such people must be helped by the community. We have the responsibility. We are created by God. We have the other souls around us. They should not be suffered. They should not suffer. We should not see their suffering. He says about this Jiva Karunyam, it is not only for the human beings, but also for the animals, but also for the plants. He said, Ella Virgulam input Varga. Kulla Viradam Kavalayam. Ella Virgulam input Varga. Including the plants. He was very much concerned with the plant life, animal life and all. Why? All other saints are talking about the human beings and their welfare, reforming the human beings. Vadalar says, the plants are more important. We should not ignore them. Plants give us food to the human beings and to the animals. Without plants, neither the animal nor the human beings can exist on the earth. Therefore, plants are equally important. We should not destroy the plants. We must protect the plants and know how to use the plant. Similarly, the animals. Man takes milk, an animal product. Takes eggs, an animal product. But Vallalar has not said anything about the eggs. But he recommends milk. But he says, eating meat will lead to sins, and the sin will follow you for the subsequent birth, and it will continue as a kannam for the next 15 births. Subsequently, birth after birth you have to suffer because of the sins. Therefore, don't kill any animal. Allow them to live. Every living being has the right to live. They are born on earth to live. We have no right to deny their rights to live. We must have our own living. They must have their own living. Animals have no intelligence. They kill. They do not know how to cultivate land. So they will kill and eat other animals. Even then there is a natural law. A lion will not kill the other lion and eat. And a tiger will not kill the other tiger. Its own race it will not eat. Human beings, they are eating the other animals. They are not eating the human flesh. These are all the natural truths. Therefore, he is very much concerned about the non-killing. He says, Vadiya Bairai Kandabodalam Vadine. Vadiya Bairai Kandabodalam Vadine. Vidudoru Irandum. Pasiyarada Ayarnda. Vettarai Kandulam Padaithen. Neediya Piniyal. Varunduகின்றோர்தமை. நேருறக் கண்டு உளம் துடித்தேன். இடின்மான்களாய் ஏழைகளாய் நெஞ்சி இளைத்தவர் தம்மை கண்டே இளைத்தேன். When the crops are withered, they are dried without water. When there is no rain, Vallalar thought, if there is no crop, how animal will exist? How human beings will exist? How will they get their food? So he prayed the Lord that there must be enough rain to the crops so that the crops will give food grains, vegetables to the animals and human beings. It is the source of food. So you are very much concerned with the crops, with the plants, and protecting the plants. வீடுதோறிருந்தும் பசியராத அயர்ந்த வெட்டரை கண்டுளம் பதைத்தேன். People beg street to street. They don't get adequate food. What happens? They go in a common place and sleep with hunger. Vallalar seeing this. People who are born as men, who are unable to secure their food, why should they starve? The community must take care of them. That's why in Jivagaranam he insists that it's not only providing food to the poor people, hungry people, there must be a place for them to sleep. That's how he established a big dharmashala. And where people can come, they can stay, they can take their food, they can live if they have nobody to support. நீடிய பிணியால் வருந்துகின்றோர்தமை நேருறக் கண்டுளம் துடித்தேன். There are people suffering for a long time from diseases. And when God has created all the herbs, all the medicinal plants, to prevent the diseases, to cure the diseases, why should man suffer from diseases without knowing how to use these plants, how to use these herbs? So man must know how to use this plant. So he identified the plants which can prevent the diseases, which can cure the diseases, and listed out. And he has written how to process those plants and take as medicine to cure the diseases. He was doing all the three things. Not only providing food, he was giving shelter to the people. He was giving medicine to the people, all the time processing the plants, the leaves, the herbal items, giving them. He said, it is not the mantras, it is not a magic, it is not a mystic deed, but it is pure science. He was processing the plants and giving them to cure the diseases. He was a pure scientist. So therefore, the Malamaindu Vendra Vallavame Tanitha Purana Vallavam, he says, the Kaladi country, our tradition, Vegada Kaladi Kantugundi Yapurlum, Vilaya Vilavita Tulde, Meituladakum. What is this Vegada Kali? Vegada Kal means the lineage, the genetic tradition. Vegada Kal means the lineage cannot be ruined. It will not die. It will not be destroyed. The lineage will continue. The lineal code will continue birth after birth. That's why in DNA test we see whether the qualities are the parents exist in the children. It's a pure science. Vallalar was a pure scientist. But when he was talking all that 150 years ago, 170 years ago, there was no science at the time. People were ignorant. People were illiterate. People did not know how to read and write. There was no literature for them to understand. And even the saints, what they had written in the form of verses, could not be understood by the people. So the lineage, he says, whatever good and bad we do, it will not be ruined, it will not be killed, it will not be destroyed, it will continue with us all the time. And in the lineage, it is a cumulative effect. A man will be highly intelligent, another man will be highly dull, very dull. He cannot understand things. So there will be a difference between a man to man, 100 years, 200 years, even 1,000 years. Difference can be there in intelligence. It's a cumulative process. In the process of evolution, from one stage to another, Manikya Vasaka says in his Trivasakam, man has to cross 7 stages. Pullaji, Pudai, Puduai, Maramaji, Palvirgamaji, Paravayai, Pambai, Kallai, Manidarai, Peyai, Kanangalai, Vallasurarai, Munivarai, Devarai, Sallar, Indra, Yittavara Sangamatul, Yella Parapum Parandilaite. Vallalar taken this particular passage from Tiruvasakam and he has written 40 pages of explanation on this. And based on this only, he established Satya Jnana Sabha in Vadalur to explain the process of evolution to the people and how they must live on earth. Therefore, Vallalar has said everything about the human life. He says, Malamaindu Vendra Vallavame Tanitha Purana Vallavam. Vegadi Kaladi Kandagundu Yapodum Vilavitha Tulde Meitulladagam. If a child is not learning properly, is dull in the class, the teacher beats, gives punishment, thinking that the child will improve only then. But the teacher is wrong. Because the capacity of the child is that there is a difference between an intelligent student and a non-intelligent student, a dull student. If you beat, he cannot be intelligent. But you must find out the way how to improve his intelligence gradually. Our teachers are not properly trained, and such a people punish the children. Even in the first class, they punish the children. They beat the children and think they will improve their learning by beating, by punishment. These are all inadequate intelligence of the teachers. We cannot improve the intelligence by giving them punishment. We must find out the method how to improve their intelligence. நான்கையும் கண்டு உலகம். He says, நான்கையும், if man could realize all the four stages, he will be able to realize God. He will be able to understand the truth of God. He will be able to understand the truth of the universe. He will be able to understand the truth of life. So, he can achieve the truthful life. And the truthful life will take him to Lord and make him to be one with the Lord. So this is how Sanmargam is. We have to take Sanmargam to the entire world to bring the humanity to a peaceful life. Except Sanmargam, no other Margam can bring peace. Sanmargam must be told to the people, this is the impurities in life which are to be removed, and these are the purities in life which are to be promoted, so that we can understand the truth of life and we can be one with God without sufferings. And many saints have said that we don't want this birth because we have to suffer. But Vadalar says, Yaravamai, we must enjoy this life, and in every life we must be able to enjoy and experience. The life is to gain experience. Without gaining experience, you cannot reach the Lord. The experience only will give you maturity. And the maturity will take you, the jnana, the intellect, the intellectual power will increase, the soul power will increase, which will take you to the Lord. And this is the principles, the Sanmargam, Vadalar teach. We have to take this concept to the entire world for the humanity to understand. Unfortunately, the Vadalar philosophy was not translated, though it is about 150 to 170 years old. It was not translated. The entire thing in English. If it was reached translated in English, it must have reached the entire humanity, and humanity would have been in betterment, in better life. There will be perfect peace in the humanity. Therefore, my friends, I thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to share my ideas with you on the principles of Sanmargam. Thank you very much.